It's an incredible experience, and very few athletes get to go through. I mean, I'm sure it's compatible to the Super Bowl and the rush that you get from that.
Two-time national champion Alabama has depth, consistency, poise under pressure, and are peaking at the right time.
There may be no one else in this arena that believes that we can win the national championship, but I have 10 athletes that think they can.
The overwhelming favorites, Georgia, defending champions. They have every intention of keeping a bulldog grip on collegiate gymnastics' greatest prize.
It's been a goal ever since then to bring home another one, and I believe that we have the team to do it.
Welcome to the Mecca of collegiate gymnastics. This is the Huntsman Center at the University of Utah, Salt Lake City, the site of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Hello, everyone. Ken Squire. They call them the Super Six, the best 6 women's gymnastics teams in the country, attempting to decide who is the finest of them all. The perennial contender, Utah, is back, but the big story about the overwhelming favorites involves border rivals, Georgia and Alabama. And to our colleague, the 1984 Olympic gold medalist, Julianne McNamara, the question is, what about this rivalry between these two?
There is an intense rivalry between these two teams, and of the 3 times they've faced each other this year, Georgia has beaten Alabama all 3 times. If both teams hit, Georgia will win, but that's not what gymnastics is all about. Georgia's a flashy team. They're led by senior hope Spivey Shealy, and they want to win back-to-back titles. However, Coach Sarah Patterson of Alabama has prepared her team very well. They've peaked at the right time. They've come here to win. They do have high-quality routines, and they're more consistent.
Make no mistake about it, folks. These folks from Alabama and Georgia just flat out say, we don't much like each other. Now, what about Utah? Here they are with this tremendous crowd, over 10,000 here. What effect is that going to have on them?
Ken, in any sport, we cannot ignore the home court advantage. From my own experience, I can tell you that the roar of that crowd is going to help motivate Utah to their best performances ever.
Thanks, Julianne. As to the rules, the top 6 teams after qualifying, known as the Super Six, compete for the team title. 6 women per event, with the top 5 scores on each apparatus, counting toward the overall team total. The 4 apparatus, the vault, the uneven parallel bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. And in the first rotation, Michigan's on the vault, UCLA on the bars, Alabama the beam, Georgia the floor. And this is the 1988 U.S. Olympic team member, Hope Spivey Shealy, on the floor for Georgia, the Lady Bulldogs.
Ken, Hope is spectacular on this event. Her tumbling is among the best in the competition. She'll start out with a full twisting, double back somersault. Watch how she twists on the first flip. Beautifully done.
Down in Athens, Georgia, they call her the Moose. She says her best advice to budding gymnasts, keep your antlers straight ahead and your tush off the floor.
She definitely does that. And watch here, front through to elbow back. Look at the height she gets. Incredible landing. Watch this for creativity. She goes backwards.
Little rewind here.
She sets up for a difficult tumbling run. Her last pass, double back flip. Perfect landing.
How about that from Hope Spivey Shealy out of Suffolk, Virginia, and the University of Georgia.
Here's that last run. She does 2 flips in the air. It's amazing the height she gets at the end of a floor routine. And just for fun, watch this. She actually does the same moves going backwards in reverse, and the music in reverse too.
I think that score is going to be straight ahead for Hope's Spivey Sheely. 9-9-5 for Sheely of Georgia. Over on the vault for Michigan, sophomore Wendy Marshall. She had a perfect 10 earlier this year on the vault.
She performs a pike front. You'll see she flipped with her legs straight. Great landing.
Wendy Marshall, Michigan. And these National Collegiate Championships are bringing out the best. Marshall gets a 9-9. Over on the uneven bars, it's Megan Fenton of UCLA.
They need a good performance here. They've had a previous fall, so they don't want to have to count that score. She's setting up here for a reverse hex. And now she'll reverse directions, do a front giant, and she'll do a reverse hex the other way. Oh, that's a big mistake. This competition is so tough. A fall like that can put you out of the race early.
So the Bruins are in trouble. This is Alabama. Stephanie Woods, only a freshman, on the balance beam.
And in gymnastics, this is known as the psych event. It's only 4 inches wide and 4 feet off the ground, and it's very difficult to compete on.
A reminder, the music you hear is from the floor exercise. 4 events taking place at once.
Stephanie is setting up for her dismount here. She does 2 back handsprings into a full twist. Nice landing.
One of the nation's best on the beam, Stephanie Woods. Great dismount. Alabama fans love it. Woods a 9.85. And thanks to Spivey Sheely, Georgia's taking the early lead in the team title battle. Michigan second, Alabama ahead of UCLA, which scored only 9.325 from Megan Fenton. But the Tide's confident, having conquered the dangerous beam. Back after this. Back in Salt Lake for the second rotation. Utah's Missy Wells-Taylor looking concerned here at the vault.
Ken, that's because she only scored a 9.1 on her first vault. Watch this. She kicks out of the tuck early, lands right on her seat. But you do get 2 vaults. The better score counts. And she's actually going to attempt a more difficult vault. This is valued at a 10.0. Pike front. Great job to recover from that first vault. The main things to look for on a vault is the height off of the horse and distance from the horse. She does both very well.
Wells-Taylor had a kidney stone attack earlier this week. It didn't bother her here. A 9-9 as Utah is off to a flying start in the vault. In the second rotation, Utah on the vault, Michigan the bars, Florida's on the beam, Alabama on the floor, Georgia and UCLA have buys. At this time, Kristen Guise of Florida is on the beam. She's a sophomore from Coral Springs.
She's a very confident competitor on this event. Look at how comfortable she looks. She does 2 jumps right in a row. Coming up here, she's going to do a back flip. She's going to kick out, rolls down. The key to this event is keeping your hips and shoulders squared over the balance beam.
That cheering you're hearing is for Utah on the vault.
And Ken, the gymnasts are used to that. They practice like that. They always have things going on, but they have to keep their focus. 2.5 twists on that dismount.
Kristen Guise of Florida keeping her focus here. Getting a big hug from the coach, Judy Avner of Florida.
You'll see here she actually adds a half twist. Most of the dismounts we've seen have been 2 twists. She adds another half twist.
Gets a 9-9, Kristen Guise.